Welcome to episode 21 of Curious Conversations. This is a special episode.
This is special.
We spoke about this, I think it was episode 3 maybe, or episode 2, where we spoke about it. And we talked about a stat that we heard on the Chris Williamson podcast. And I think it was by it's Jack Butcher, who's the guy who created Twitter, I'm sure, who talks about like the importance of consistency in podcasts, and that the top 1% of podcasts worldwide, the threshold to get into that in terms of consistency is to hit 21 podcasts recorded and uploaded, and this is episode 21.
This is episode 21, mate. I remember we were just speaking earlier, we remember not even on the podcast just speaking about how it's going to be when we get to that kind of 1% and we're here now, and there's no stopping, mate. Here's to another 21, mate.
What do you mean? This is the last episode.
This is actually the
final episode.
This is the final episode. This is the series over, and we're actually not coming back because we've got nothing else to say.
Yeah, we're all out of ideas. So yeah, like that's something we spoke about kind of episode 2, episode 3, I can't actually remember what one it was. Yeah. And now we're here. Like it's literally just been from showing up weekly. We were recording every single Thursday for probably the first maybe 16 episodes or something like that, 15, 16. And then the things had to change, and like a spanner got thrown in the works, and then we just moved it. We created a bit more space in our week somewhere else, which is what we're actually going to go on to talk about with this podcast as well. It's going to be pretty fitting towards that kind of topic, and that's the power of showing up, the power of consistency, and that's going to be the topic of it today. We both of us, like, we're obviously coaches. We try and coach people to be consistent in certain things, but the actual term consistency is so important to dive deep on because it's such a powerful tool to think of on a daily basis, and that's what we're going to chat about today.
Yeah.
Something you love chatting about.
I love this. I think it's the catalyst to growth in every single aspect. You can apply consistency to anything, and 9 times out of 10, it's going to get you to where you want to be.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I like this topic.
Okay, let's do it. Firstly, the thing we spoke about is it's hard to do anything new for 21 weeks straight. Like, a habit of some sort is so easy to fall out of that habit because it is something you've not been doing. We all have habits, whether they are quote unquote good or bad. However, actually creating a new habit and doing something for 21 weeks, especially if it is an hour and a half out of your week, it can be something that's very easy to let slide. But yeah, that's like, it's important to note that the things that you are going to want to be consistent in probably are going to be hard to do. It's not easy to be fit. It's not easy to be healthy in particular. It's actually pretty hard to do in today's day and age where like so much is thrown at you, unhealthy habits and phones that are like wanting your attention constantly. It's very difficult to not be distracted by things and to stay consistent in certain realms. Yeah. And the thing that we speak about a lot is that consistency compounds over time. So this is something you spoke about actually recently.
100%. It's so important. It's probably the biggest thing to realise when trying to do something for a long period of time, just because I used to feel before I realised this, like when this got explained to me, I was like, it opened up my eyes because you don't understand the little small things in your day that you're not doing.
Yeah.
And they compound. So see, like what I said to you at the start, like say for example, you consistently don't pick up something from the floor in your house. If you continuously do that, then your house is going to end up looking like a bin. So that's why it's so important to to sweat the small stuff and kind of show up for yourself. And as you build that, it just gets better and better and better. There is, we spoke about this as well, that, and I know we'll go into a little bit more depth on it, but it's like the middle part. It's the middle part. Like there's going to be a period where you need to kind of go through like those times of showing up and getting no reward, but it's just about being able to kind of show up and like stack all the like consistent evidence, and then that's what allows you to kind of get to the next level.
Yeah, let's talk about that middle part, because that's I think it's important and it's very fitting. I think it's important to talk about at the start of this podcast as well, because people are going to come up against it. And like, it's funny as a coach, because I've been coaching 5 years now, and I now notice patterns in a lot of people. Of course, every single person is different. However, people come in and come into coaching and they obviously have a goal in mind, and like they're very motivated at the start. Motivation is always high at the start, because usually the pain is high towards that certain goal. So if you're carrying a bit more body fat than you want to, and you want to lose body fat, you've probably been in pain beforehand. You've noticed that, and you want to change it. So the person always comes in with high motivation. Right, this is a new thing. Like, I'm starting coaching, they're giving me like X, Y, and Z so that I can get to this place. They start off straight off the bat, week 1, week 2, they're flying. Like, they're starting to build new habits. They're doing this, they're doing that. Then a spanner gets thrown in the works. Like, something happens, like on their day to day, it throws them off a little bit, and they have one day where they don't hit their markers. And then the old habits start to creep in. You're probably noticing this now, like already. Old habits start to creep in, that old version of themselves. It might not be 2 weeks in, it might be 3 weeks in, 4 weeks in, whatever. But that kind of old version and old habit starts to creep in that little bit more and push out the new habits they were trying to create. And the kind of middle, that is really the middle part, because the start can be however long you want it to be. The middle part is always the longest. It really, really is. And we were chatting about where we actually heard this. Like, the middle stage is, I don't know, it was Chris Williamson, but I don't know who he had it on. Maybe Alex Hormozy?
I think it was Hormozy, aye.
And they speak about the Rocky cutscene, and in the film Rocky, it talks about like the cutscene is so small where he's going to have this fight or whatever. The end part is the fight, and he's in like amazing shape. The cutscene in the middle, I'm pretty sure that's the one with the tune, isn't it? Yeah, and it's like, I don't know how many minutes long it is, but that's when he's training, and it's say it's only a minute long or 2 minutes long in the actual movie. In real life, that can be years.
Yeah.
That is years. That is the years and years on end. So that middle stage, the Rocky cutscene, in movies, obviously it wouldn't be very good if it was a whole hour long. It'd probably get pretty boring. But that's the middle stage that you really need to focus on, that consistency.
See, when you start to see people creeping into like their old habits and stuff like that, there's a little bit of self-sabotage when it comes to that, because it's so natural to like you've done these things, these certain habits, like whether, as you say, whether they're good or bad, you've done them your full life.
Yeah.
So your mind wants that kind of familiarity. It wants you to kind of go back to the things that you're used to, because it doesn't like you don't like it when you your mind doesn't like it when you kind of go towards other things that you don't necessarily know what they have in store. So I think that there's a little bit of self-sabotage. You're always going to kind of catch yourself, especially when you're trying to stick to something. You're going to find yourself wanting to go back to the way like you maybe used to act, but it's about being aware of that and understanding that that's not going to serve you. So being able to push through that, and as we say, like, when you can push through that, that's when you start to see things really change.
How do you think you've got out of that self-sabotage in the past? Because you highlighted that to me and within yourself, like it's not too long ago as well.
Just awareness, genuinely just awareness for me, because I didn't know that I was doing that. I didn't know that's why I genuinely just thought I couldn't do it, but I didn't know that was the reason why. Because like I went through a kind of stage like the way I would suppress like my like negative emotions would be by like eating and like binging and stuff like that, and like I didn't realise that's why I was doing it. That's why I was trying to kind of I was eating because I was trying to suppress my emotion and feel good, but doing that made me feel worse, but I just didn't know the cycle I was kind of going in, and then until someone put it in front of me and I realised that it was so much easier to break through, because then I can be like, right, okay, that's what not to do, because that's just going to make you worse and worse and worse, and then that's when you can kind of start to realise that you can start to go down different avenues. It opens up your eyes a wee bit to the things that you're doing. I constantly see like myself maybe going into like old negative habits like daily, and I can catch it like that because there's awareness about it. Do you know what I mean? Which is good.
Do you know it's so funny and something I've realised this week, because I'm moving back in with my mum. That's something I could probably chat about, but I'm moving back in with my mum this week, and I've obviously been out the house for quite a while now. But do you know what's so funny? Like I moved back into my mum, or I was moving stuff into my mum's, and I was just chilling in the kitchen speaking to my mum, and without even thinking, I opened up the snack drawer, and like I was like looking about the snack drawer, and I was like, I caught myself in the moment doing it, and I was like, what am I doing? Like, I'm not even hungry at all. I'm not meant to be eating right now.
Yeah.
Like that's a habit of old me that's like so ingrained within me.
Stay there.
Yeah, like there's literally next to my mum's microwave, there's like a snack drawer. It's got like chocolate, it's got crisps, it's got fucking whatever, and I actually caught myself in the moment and thought to myself, whoa, like I had no recollection of even doing that whatsoever there. Like my body's literally just took me there without even thinking, opened that up, and I was looking about it, and I was like snapped out of it.
It's so like the mind is so powerful when it comes to consistency, because it's got, as you say, these wee things that have been ingrained years and years. That's why it's so hard to get out of it.
Yeah.
Because there's literally years in your brain like telling you that you are the type of person that does this certain thing.
Yeah.
But it's just being able to, as I say, notice that and switch that around, and that's where real identity change comes.
Yeah.
When you can switch it around.
Yeah. Awareness. That's a mega important one. And you were brought aware of self-sabotage from that book?
From
Yeah.
The one Ryan gave me. I didn't actually get the chance to finish that, but
some books you don't have to finish. Some books it's a matter of.
I learned a lot from what I read.
Yeah.
What I read on it, and as I say, it definitely opened up my eyes.
Can you remember the name of that book? The Mountain Is You.
The Mountain Is You.
The Mountain Is You by Brianna West.
Yes.
I've not actually read it yet. It's on my list to read.
Yeah.
Because I know the importance of learning about that. Ryan rated it very highly as well. He loved that book. So yeah, like that is that leads on to like the consistency and self-development, which we always prioritise, whether it's podcasts, whether it is learning about you through doing journaling, through even what Harry was talking about in the last podcast, the meditating, thinking about your own thoughts, reading books, audiobooks, whatever it is, the consistency in that compounds over time massively. Like I've learned things in the past 5 years through doing these things that like I don't even know that I've learned. Like, so something will come up in this podcast today, and that will be something that I have learned 3.5 years ago on a podcast, listening to Chris Williamson, for example. I feel like Chris Williamson, we speak about all the time on this. A lot. But someone we both listen to, and he's like very self-development heavy, and like that is the power of consistency with that, because I will have learned a thing within me internally that I have heard from 3.5 years ago, as I said. Like it's the exact same with fitness, which we're going to come on to in a second. Like your fitness compounds over time. Like, you showing up on one day is going to help that 3-year version of yourself in the future.
Yeah. It's the like shitty, mundane workout that you had that didn't feel like it moved the needle whatsoever.
Yeah.
Those, like, build enough of them and you'll get to where you want to be.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't need to be like the best workout ever, or you don't need to necessarily feel amazing during it, but all those little small times where you chose to go to the gym and get it in rather than just like stay at home and maybe like fucking eat crisps and stuff like that they are the difference, those little days, because everyone can go to the gym when they want to.
Yeah.
That's not consistency, because you're not always going to feel good to go to the gym, but it's about being able to understand that, no, I'm going to go to this session even though I don't want to allow me to get closer to where I want to be. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And the more you show up when you don't want to, the more you back yourself up as someone who goes to the gym.
Exactly.
That's the identity piece.
So the way you want to look at it is like, consistency is confidence. Consistency is trust in yourself.
Yeah.
That's how you find confidence in yourself, by showing up for yourself, and that is basically what consistency is. That is what consistency is. Showing up for yourself, like, even though you may not feel good, getting the work done, like, no matter the emotion in your head, you still make sure to put in the effort and tick the box.
Yeah. Something we've been speaking about a lot is trust. Like, trust in yourself. Like, it's built through like repetition and doing things over time. Like, we are to give podcast the example. Like, we can now think of ourselves as podcast people.
Yeah.
We've backed that up for 21 weeks straight. What's that? We're like, what's that, 5 months? Four and a half months?
I think so, yeah.
Whatever it is. But like, that's almost half a year of doing a podcast, so we can think of ourselves as podcasters. We can have that almost identity piece within us because we have showed up on a weekly basis for that amount of time, and like, we've showed up at times where we are busy. Like, we have busy weekends. We're in here before Saturday service on a Saturday, funnily enough. Saturday service starts at 7 a.m, so we're usually in here for 5:30, 5:45, filming the podcast that we've already took notes on beforehand. But that's just because we want to show up here. We want to speak about this podcast.
Yeah.
We want to have people on in the future, pick people's brains, and it's something that we actually we love doing, and we've had so much like joy from almost as well.
All it is proof at the end of the day. Like, you become that person when you start to do it consistently. Before, I really found myself like it was when I didn't understand like the whole like kind of breakthrough stuff like that. But I had the right to like not trust myself because I didn't do anything consistently. Like, there's a reason why you feel that way. There's a reason why you can't break through it, because there's not been a period of time where you've got that evidence. So as we say, all it is proof. All it is proof. Just making sure that you're doing the thing no matter what, and that's all it is.
Trust. Build trust by repetition, like over and over and over again. That is the most important thing with that. Let's talk about momentum.
Yeah.
Momentum is hard to start and very easy to break. So, like, if you think about it, you over time, say there's this big massive stone. I remember this from a podcast as well. The power of consistency of listening to podcasts, learning lessons from them. If there's this big massive stone and you are pushing it like over time, like the first day doesn't really move much, second day doesn't really move much, but over time that stone's going to start rolling more and more and more and quicker, and that's the power of that compounding effect. It's going to get quicker and quicker and start rolling more and more and more. But if you stop, like for one day, that's still going to roll. But if you stop for days on end, that's going to get slower and slower and slower. And as that big stone comes to a dead stop, it's going to be so much harder to get back into that momentum, back into that swing of things again. And I think that momentum, staying on momentum, is so good. Obviously, you're going to have times in your life where, like, momentum is going to stop. Big life changes, like someone may pass away, or like you might get ill. Like, these things do happen, of course, and that's going to stop momentum. However, you've built yourself into that person beforehand that it's so much easier to get back into it.
Totally, 100%. It's one of those ones that I've found myself in that position, like just now, that I'm riding a really good, like, kind of roll of momentum.
Yeah.
Like, everything's just coming together because I've been stacking it. I've just been stacking it, and I've been kind of running off it. Obviously, we've been really focusing on High Rocks. Ever since we kind of started at Glasgow, it's just been, the momentum's been going well.
We've been pushing that stone.
We've been pushing that stone hard. But I think that it's like, it's also down to, like, there's going to be times in life where you can't choose the suffering that you have. As you said, family members go, issues with relationships, things like that. That's unchosen suffering. But to be able to compound them and be able to deal with them as much as you possibly can is being able to perfect the art of chosen suffering.
Yeah.
And that's consistency. That's what it is.
Yeah. Chosen suffering. I like that.
Yep.
Choose suffering on a daily basis.
Yes.
Discipline over motivation.
This is a good one, because everyone thinks that they need to get motivated.
Yeah.
You don't. You don't need to get motivated.
Yeah.
You just need to do it. It goes back to what we're saying with the whole consistency, the consistency compounds. Like, you don't need to have motivation. Everyone's like, you'll get maybe like messages from people, I'm so unmotivated, so this and that. That's totally fine. There's so many people that are so unmotivated out there, but it's being able to understand your true why. I think discipline comes into place when you, like, really, really connect with your reason why.
Yeah.
Because if you wanted it enough, like plain and simple, for everyone, if you wanted it enough, you would be able to work around it. You would be able to work around it. And just having the awareness towards that, don't get me wrong, there is some people with circumstances that they can't get it just like that. But it's being able to ride that wave of, like, fuck, I don't want to do this, but I'm still going to do it because that's getting me closer to where I want to be.
Yeah. It's so true. Like, the whole discipline versus motivation thing is, it's like, motivation is a feeling. Like, it is a feeling inside of you, just as happiness is, just as sadness is. They come and they go. Like, they come and they go. And motivation usually stems from, like, a thought that comes into your head of, oh, I would love to be in that place. Like, I want to change right now. And that versus discipline on the other side. Discipline's a skill that you build over time. And everyone said, yeah, I want that motivation. Like, I need to have that motivation to get there. But really, you want to aim to get that discipline. That discipline piece is going to serve you so much more in your life, because you can control it. You
Totally.
can build it. You can have that skill.
And with motivation, you can't. That's not to say that motivation is necessarily, like, bad, though. Yeah. Like, it's good, because that can, like, light up your goals for then, like, for you to put things in place. Because, like, it will be like the spark. Motivation will be like the spark, so it will initiate something in your head to where, like, oh, I really want this, I really want to do this, and that's great. But being able to like differentiate between discipline and motivation is the key here. That's what you want to think about when thinking about motivation versus discipline. They're different.
They are very different. What are you not being consistent in right now that you want to be?
Me? Probably.
I know my answer to this one.
Probably time on my phone a wee bit. Time on, not time on my phone, but time on, like, certain apps.
What do you mean? You're spending too much time on certain
Spending too much time on my phone.
Right.
Like, I don't spend too much time on my phone, but maybe just spending too much time in parts of my phone that aren't really serving me. If that makes sense. So like scrolling, TikTok, Instagram Reels, things like that. Actually, here's a tip for people. If you find yourself like consistently consistently scrolling and struggling to get away from, like say like TikTok for example, delete the app every single time that you're finished using it. That's what I do, and it works perfectly. But because we're posting a little bit more, we're looking to post a little bit more on TikTok, get nice and consistent with posting on that platform. It's on my phone now. So yesterday I was like trying to pull myself away from it. But yeah, probably that. What about you?
Mine's is that exact, not the scrolling part, but that exact thing of posting more. And on social media, that's something that we've spoke about, and something that people can hold me accountable to because out in the world now. But
Yeah.
when I first came into Sin, this is the power of that momentum piece. When I first came into Sin, I think I was in the middle of doing that challenge, and I'd done 100 days where I posted every single day. So grid post and 4 stories every single day for 100 days, and I done it. And I completed that challenge, and it was like a cross off I done every single day on a whiteboard. And once that challenge finished, I think I probably went maybe a week or like 8 days or something like that, and I wasn't I didn't have the boxes to cross off, and I continued with that momentum, but then one day I missed it, and then it just led into another day missed, maybe I posted the day after that, but then I missed the day after that, and it was just like
it's a great example of consistency with 100 days, but it's also a great example of like how important momentum is.
Yeah.
With like the after the 100 days, you know.
Yeah, and like 110%. And during that 100 days, I learned a lot about like creating content about days that I really didn't want to show up, but I still did, and like the power of actually having something there as well, like to tick off every day, was important for consistency. But then again, on the other side of it, like once that wasn't there, I obviously hadn't learned the skill of discipline to post every single day. Yeah, like right now, I want to get back to that, and have the discipline of doing that every day.
That's a big one for me.
That's the challenge that we are going to be doing. Maiden started that yesterday, and it's just creating less friction towards it as well. So we are going to do a challenge where we're just speaking, like you literally just speak to the camera, post it up on TikTok, and post it. You don't have to spend hours editing, or like an hour editing it, like whatever. All you're doing is just putting the camera up, speaking face to face with the camera, and posting it. So it just gets you back into that momentum and creates less friction towards it, so that you're not spending so much time on it.
100%.
Because it can be time consuming creating content, and I understand that, but it's for me it's so important. It allows me to express my what I've learned and help other people with that, or just express your creative side as well.
Totally.
Creativity.
100%.
I always feel when I'm creating content that's like true to me, I love it. Like this podcast, for example.
Yeah.
This podcast allows you to just be so yourself. That's the kind of content I love creating.
Totally. It's about taking action as well. I think that's a great topic when it comes to like consistency. I can think that I want to do something so bad.
Yeah.
But thinking about doing the thing isn't doing the thing.
Yeah.
Like creating a to-do list about the thing isn't doing the thing.
Yes.
So it's about creating action. I was on that video, and it took me like a couple tries just because I've messed up my words and stuff like that. But
wait, what? That's against the rules.
Wait, what? Wait, what? No, it took me a couple tries because I actually didn't know what I was going to say initially. But then I just went on. I was like, this is my announcement video to let people know that I'm going to be speaking on here a lot more often. And yeah, the way I look at it, when I posted that video, I was like, oh, is that a bit shit? But it's going to be shit.
I was going to say.
Like, consistency is, like, at the start, when you're trying to be consistent at something, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to be 100%. It's not going to be great at the start. It's going to feel like you're trying to figure it out a lot. You're not going to really kind of know what to do in certain parts, but it's just about being able to kind of ride that wave and doing it anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's I'm actually excited to get some more shit out there, and as you say, be a little bit more creative, but also get the knowledge, because I think that for me, what I'm going to speak about a lot is what I'm writing down in my journal.
Yeah.
So I clear a full page every single morning.
Yeah.
So talking a little bit more about that, there's some good stuff in there.
Just ideas.
It's just ideas and just things that I'm thinking, and things I'm thinking about me, my future, like my trajectory of life. It's things like that. It's just so important to me. So if I can get the opportunity to speak on that, then that means that if I'm helping someone out there, one person, then my job is done.
Yes. Well, what's your TikTok?
At
Aiden Glasgow.
I think it's Glasgow Aiden, maybe, or Aiden Glasgow. It's something like that. Anyway, you'll see it on your phone.
Find them on TikTok. I'm going to be doing the same. I think mine's is just Anton Grimley as well. Yeah,
You'll see it on the For You page anyway.
Yeah,
That
you're going to be
algorithm is
blowing
gonna be
up.
hitting.
I get like -3 likes on my first one. Can't wait.
People reporting that shit for it being so bad.
Right, we're going to wrap that
Right.
podcast up. That
Let's
was
wrap it up.
consistency. Special episode number 1. Number 1.
Number
Number
one.
21. We managed to hit that 1% of podcasts, and we're going to go beyond that because
Yeah, we're gonna. Our next goal's 100.
Yeah.
100 pods. Gonna get a really special guest on for that one.
yeah, we are. We've got a few guests lined up now.
Yeah, good for you.
Someone super exciting in the next couple of weeks.
Yes,
Which I can't wait to.
I'm buzzing to get an opportunity to speak to this guy. He's an absolute animal in his field, so it's just a matter of kind of seeing, speaking to him and picking his brain a little bit and kind of getting some takeaways.
We'll see you guys on episode 22.
Looking forward to it, bro. Chat.